find some meaning for ourselves and for others as well. First for ourselves and then for others, or first for ourselves, then for others, or we can say for ourselves and others as well at the same time. So very happy to be back here. Hare Krishna. So I'm going to share my screen. So in the last session, we discussed till verse number 6, if I'm not wrong. So today we'll be discussing from 7 onwards. Let me know if the screen is visible. Is it?
Yes, bro, it's now.
I hope so. Okay. So in the last verse, we discussed the various kinds of warriors who are either Maharathis, Rathis, Atirathis, Ardharathis, and why they were so qualified, and why Duryodhan is actually expressing his fear from verse number 3 to 11. So now we have seen the warrior count or the details of the warrior from the Pandavas side, which Duryodhan himself has expressed. And he also said that you are actually very foolish because you taught the military sciences to Drishtadyumna, who was actually born to kill you only. And he is the enemy. Actually, he is your enemy's son. So he's also enemy. And his purpose of life is just to kill you only. So why would you teach the military sciences to him? Especially how to kill you. He taught that Vidya also. So in that way, Duryodhan wanted to say that, my dear teacher, you are actually very, very foolish. Sankuchit buddhi. So from now, we'll be reading verse number 7. You may repeat at the same time with me so that we don't have that synchronous problems of Zoom. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamvitam Vitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्वषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। चैतन्यप्रभो वन्दे यदनुग्रहात् तरेन्नाथमतग्रह व्याप्तं सिद्धान्तसागरात्. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a small child can cross the ocean of knee science, which is filled with the crocodiles of various kinds of Siddhantas. So I pay obeisances unto his great Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we have a devotee also, Chaitanya Prabhu. So I said his grace. Anyway, so verse number 7. So this is said by Duryodhan as well. Asmakam tu vishishta ye tannibodha dvijottama Nayaka mama sainyasya samnyartham tan bravimi ve. So now he's saying, "Oh Dvijottam," because he said you are foolish. So now he wanted to cover up. So he is saying, "Oh Dvijottam, oh best of the Brahmanas." Now Bravimite, and I am going to say something. What he is going to say? He says, Asmakam tu Vishishtaye. We also do have something special. And what special? Tan Nibodha. Please understand that, oh dear best of the Brahmanas, Nibodha. He says, Nayaka mama sainyasya samnyartham tan bravimite. So I am going to list how many warriors we have. And he said, Sainyasya samnyartham. So we'll go to the commentary. What does this mean actually? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving meaning to two of the words which are mentioned here. So he says, Nibodha Budhasva. That means he is trying to say, please understand, or Nibodha, please understand who is on our side. And then he's saying, now I'll tell you, Samnyartham, Samyak Jnanartham. So Samnyartham means Samyak Jnanartham. Samyak means complete. So I'll tell you the complete understanding of who all the warriors we have. Okay, so now we'll go to the next one. That's it. There's no other comment. We'll not go to other commentaries so that the mood remains intact. Although it won't be that much problematic in first chapter or maybe half of the second chapters, but once the tattva of yoga system begins, then taking two acharyas at the same time and then explaining would be okay for me, but it would be very bit difficult for you to understand. So I'll just taking Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. If needed, I'll go for Baldev Vidyabhushan. That will say see how it can be cooperated. Okay, so this is verse number 8 and 9. I hope it is visible. भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिज्ञजयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिर्जयद्रथः अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीवितः जीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहर्षणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः. Now what he's saying? Bhavan. Dhavan means, so in Sanskrit, to in order to say something to the, or in order to point a senior, you have a different annotation. You say Bhavan. But for anyone who is like equal or junior, you can say Twam. Jैसे in Hindi we say tum or aap. But in English you have only you only. Unfortunately. Anyway. So he says Bhavan. That means yourself. O Dujottam, yourself. Dronacharya. Bhishmash. So Bhishmaha. That means you are there. Bhishma is there. Karnaha. Karna is there. Kripaha. Kripa is there. Kripa means Kripacharya. And these four, Dronacharya, Bhishma, Karna, and Kripacharya. He is saying one qualification for them. Samatim Jayaha. You all have been victorious. You have won many wars. So you all are very victorious already. And then he names other people who are not victorious. We can take this for. So he says Ashwathama, that means Drauni or the son of Dron. Then Vikarnas, one of the Kauravas, who was very brave. And then Saumadattir Tathaiva Cha. So we have Saumadatta. So who is Saumadatta? Saumadatta means Bhurishrava. So he is the son of Somadatta. So from Somadatta, the son is referred as Saumadattaha. So Vishwanath ji says here, Saumadattir Bhurishravaha. That means Saumadatta is no one but Bhurishrava, or the son of Somadatta. So who is this Bhurishrava? He was actually a very valiant warrior, one of the cousins of Pandavas or Kauravas, you can say. So he was actually the grandson of the elder brother of Shantanu Maharaj. So very distantly related. So what happened? He was such a valiant warrior. He was actually the hero of the 14th day. Mahabharat went for 18 days. So on the 14th day, that means there was no Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya. So after the death of Dronacharya, Bhurishrava was the one who fought very valiantly on the 14th day and actually gave a great headache to the whole Pandav army regiment. So what happened actually while fighting with Arjun? Arjun was able to cut one of the arms of Bhurishrava. See, he's been very much glorified in Mahabharata, not in that very much negative way, but his heroism is very much glorified in Mahabharata. So while fighting Arjuna, he gave headache to almost every Pandav, even to Arjun also. But Arjun, anyway, Arjun is Arjun, so he overshadowed him, and he was able to cut one of the arms of Bhurishrava. So seeing that his arm is falling down on the battlefield filled with blood, and he is also losing blood, he simply sat down in meditation, just like Dronacharya. Dronacharya was not harmed, but he was harmed. So he understood, because I have lost my arm, my favorite arm, because we all have our favorite arm. Someone is lefty, someone is righty. But we should make sure that most of the spiritual works are done from our right hand only. We can train ourselves in that way from the childhood. For example, eating food, chanting, touching the deities mostly from the right hand only, or serving someone. This right hand is considered auspicious. Anyway, so if someone is not able to do that, they can train themselves to be like they can use both their hands. But please try that you can chant from your right hands at least, or eat prasadam, or serve someone from the right hand. Even for serving someone, we have etiquette. So you have to take the spoon and you have to pour it towards your left side. You don't pour it towards your right side like this. So this is for tarpan. If someone is like someone is dead, उसको पानी ऐसे देते हैं. But someone who is alive, we give it like this. There are many. For example, Prabhupada in his lectures, he said that um, don't give three chapatis, because one of the guests who arrived, so in front of him, one of the disciples, he brought three chapatis and gave very nicely. Everything was fine, but the count was very dangerous. So Prabhupada said, three chapatis means for enemy. You don't give three chapatis, either two or give four. So better is to give two, so that the chapati remains hot in the hot case, or if you are preparing it right. Chapati means coming directly from the fire. This is our culture. ऐसा नहीं रात में रखे हैं, then you broke it into pieces and make some kind of a different dish of chapati. Anyway, that's mother's intelligence, and they are very smart to handle that kitchen. I'll not enter in that area. Anyway, so chapati means coming directly from the fire, and we don't give three chapatis. So there are various etiquettes which are mentioned by various Niti Shastras, or Buddhi Janas, those who are very intelligent and wise. So this comes into very subtle or gross aspects of etiquettes. Anyway, so when his right arm was cut, he sat down in meditation. At that time, Satyaki, in the same way how Dronacharya was killed by Drishtadumna, when Dronacharya sat down in meditation and using a sword, his head was chopped off. Similarly, Satyaki also chopped off the head of Bhurishrava. What happened was that Bhurishrava had a fight with Satyaki only, and Satyaki vowed that I'll kill Bhurishrava. So this vow was fulfilled in that way. Anyway, because Abhimanyu was killed very mercilessly on the 12th day, I think so. 12th or 11th day. I'm forgetting the exact day. Anyway, if someone remembers, they can tell. Just after the death of Vishmadev only. So what happened when Abhimanyu was killed mercilessly, just transgressing all the codes and conduct of warfare. Then it was decided that just forget rules and regulations. We are just going to make sure dharma prevails in any way or other. So the Mahabharat war was no longer a fight of fighting with written codes of dharma, because the one who broke the dharma was actually Bhishma Pitama on the very first day. You'll be very shocked to hear that how come Bhishma Pitama broke that vow. So one of the sons of Drupad, no, one of the sons of Virat, his name is Uttam, the brother of Uttara. If you remember the Virat Yuddha past time, when the whole of Kaurav Sena attacked the Virat Desh, the actual prayojan was to make sure the Agyatvas of Pandavas is disturbed, so that they have to go again 12 years of Vanavas and 1 year of Agyatvas. So that was the intention. Anyway, Bhishma Dev said that as per the calculation of the Surya Siddhant, this and that, the 13 years are all completed. So their Agyatvas is not bhang. So Duryodhan was very much disturbed. He said, "No, no, you are not a very great mathematicians. I have my own mathematicians and astrologers. They have said that today's day is still awaiting that their Agyatvas is still going on." Anyway, I'll not go into that. So at that time, Arjun, as Brihannala, if I'm not wrong in saying that name, he came along with Uttar to fight all the Kauravas. At that time, Uttar, a young boy, was very scared. In his kingdom, he boasted a lot. Oh, I'll do this, that, and I'll going to defeat the Kauravas like anything. Because already Virat was having some kind of trouble in other side of the border, other direction. So most of the warriors were engaged there, including the Virat Naresh. So only Uttar, who didn't want to participate in any kind of war, did not participate in that directional war. He was alone left to participate the war where he has to fight all the Kaurava army together. Anyway, so Arjun, in his Agyat form as Brihannala, he fought the Kaurav army and destroyed each and every one of them very quickly. So in that moment also one can understand how powerful actually Arjun is. Anyway, so that same Uttar, he was fighting very violently on the very first day of the Mahabharat war. Means if someone would compare Uttar from the Virat Yuddha and the Uttar from the first day of Mahabharat war, he would be shocked to see the valiant and heroic performances of Uttar. See, if you read Mahabharat very carefully, then you'll find there were many such great warriors in Mahabharat, which we don't know. For example, if we see the TV serial of Mahabharat, definitely if the name Uttar comes, we'll say, oh, that coward boy who was very much scared in the Virat Yuddha. No, during the Mahabharat battlefield, day one, he was the first to die because he was fighting on the very forefront and he was fighting like an elephant, killing everyone. Soldiers, some great Ardharathas and Rathas were killed by him. I think he killed one of the important generals at that time also. So at that time, he was engaged in warfare with Dronacharya. Now, Dronacharya is a skilled warrior, definitely very much better than Uttar. But Uttar was on elephant and Dronacharya was fighting from a chariot. So, as per the codes of conduct of warfare, which was decided before the Mahabharat war, one should not fight with another person who is not at the same level. But Dronacharya was continuously fighting. So Bhishma Dev, in order to take attention, because Uttar was actually dominating Dronacharya. Now you can imagine how great Uttar was at that time. Because from the day of Virat Yuddha till the day of first day of Mahabharat war, Uttar was continuously being trained by Arjun. That is the reason. Arjun, a great warrior who is also a great teacher. So Uttar was fighting with Dronacharya and he was overpowering him. So Duryodhan saw, Are Baba, the day one only and one of the major general is getting cornered by such a small boy. So everyone was very much perplexed. How come these teeny tiny warriors on the side of Pandavas are showing such a great strength? Because Krishna was on their side and Dharma was on their side. And all we'll see how the Kauravas were already afraid of everything. See, Duryodhan is already afraid before the conch shells were sounded. So what happened? Bhishma Dev, he took a spear and he wanted to challenge Uttar. But instead of challenging, because of so much war going on, he actually threw the lance or the spear and it went straight into the heart of Uttar and he died. So this was the first rule that was broken by Bhishma Pitama himself on the very first day. Now what happened? There was another great warrior whose name we don't know. I'm going to say his name was Shweta. He was this one of the sons of Drupad. He became mad like anything. Just seeing this, that on the very first day, the major principal general, Pradhan Senapati, he broke the rule. So he became like mad like anything. And he didn't have any kind of very special kind of missiles or astra shastras which were with Arjun. But with ordinary astra and shastras, he was overpowering Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Kripacharya. Kand was not participating because of the fight between Bhishma Dev and Kand. Anyway, so Duryodhan, Dushasan, Shakuni, Vikarna, Bhurishrava, he was fighting all of them and no one was able to stop Shweta. Now the sunset was approaching and it was very much evident that Pandavas, because of this one warrior Shwet, who was like Mahadev Tandav doing on Mahabharat war. He was actually killing so many soldiers, so many medium level generals that Bhishma Pitama had no choice but to use Brahmastra on the very first day of Mahabharat to kill this Shwet. Now you can understand Brahmastra is not an ordinary weapon. It is not even used during the battlefields of Devatas and Asuras. Brahmastra was used to kill that a small boy, son of Drupad, Shwet. Now you can understand how great this warrior was, Shwet. And after getting hit by Brahmastra, anyway, he died. So Duryodhan was like, hey, what are you doing, Bhishma Pitama? This small boy destroyed so many of our soldiers and he was overpowering you, the Dronacharya, everyone. He overpowered me also, what you were doing. So now Bhishma Devi became very angry. He said, are you really stupid or you are acting stupid? I think so. You are actually fool number one. Didn't you say that I used Brahmastra to kill that warrior? Now you can understand how great he was. So stop disrespecting soldiers on your side and anyway respect that warrior who died valiantly fighting against us and who took Brahmastra right on his chest and died. So the first person to break the rule was actually Bhishma Pitama. Anyway, though in the same way, Drishtadyumna killed Dronacharya. So it came in my mind, so I thought of saying it was not planned by me anyway. So Dronacharya was killed by Drishtadyumna. In the very same way, Bhurishrava was killed by Satyaki. Satyaki is also a very valiant warrior who survived the whole 18-day war from the Pandavas side. Now, the further commentary for text 9, it says, Tyaktva jivita. This line is very interesting. So it says Tyaktva jivita iti. One moment. Iti jivita tyage napi yadi mad upkarah syat. So what does this mean? He says Tyaktya udarata. So like to show mercy to me, Tyaktva udarata means where it went. Huh? Jivita Tyagenapi, although they are alive, they are ready to give up their lives in order to show upkar or in order to show mercy or in order to give help to me. They are willing to give up their lives. So this is the literal meaning. But what is the like hidden meaning which Vishwanath says? Tada, tadabhi kartum pravitya ityartha. That means they have already given up their lives for me. Now, how this meaning was brought up by Vishwanathji. So he further says, Vastutas tu Mayye vate nihataha purvam eva nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Now, when I said nimitta matram bhava savyasachin, this line is used by many of the preachers in their classes of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. So this is actually 11th chapter, 33rd verse from Maya Vate to Savyasachin, which is marked in blue. So Vastustastu iti Bhagavad Ukter. That means Krishna has said this statement, which means by my arrangement, these warriors are already killed before the war has started. So now you, Arjun, be my instrument. So this is what Krishna said. Now when Krishna is saying before the war has started, everyone has died. So how come everyone has died? That means Krishna has showed his interest in killing every one of them. So if Krishna has thought something, definitely that will happen. So there is one Shakti of Krishna called Satya Sankalpa Shakti. It is mentioned by our Acharyas. So what does Satya Sankalpa Shakti means? Whatever Sankalp Krishna will take, whatever he may desire or will, Satyam, it will happen. So did Krishna desire the death of all the Kauravas? No. It was Duryodhan who desired and Krishna just said Tathastu. How? Because here he is saying, oh, Tyaktya Jivita, they have given their lives for me or they will give their lives for me. Then Krishna said, oh, very fine, okay, Tathastu, they will definitely give their lives for you. Now listen what it says. Iti Bhagavad Ukter. That means Bhagavad means Bhagwan has said this. Duryodhana Saraswati Satyam Evahasma. When Duryodhan said this, Mata Saraswati said Tathastu. For example, if I go to a fight and I introduce my friends who came to fight for me, I say, oh, these are my friends and they will give life, they will lay down their lives for me. And Saraswati Mata say, for sure they will give their lives for you. That same thing happened. So the mood of Krishna in 11th chapter, when he was saying, oh, these are already dead before the war started. So they were dead at this moment. So that verse is connected here. I hope this is very easy and clear to you. Now we'll be going to the next verse, which is actually very funny. So it says here, अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं पर्याप्तं त्वदेदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितं. Now you see these two words very carefully, aparyaptam and paryaptam. So the first line, it begins with aparyaptam, that means which is not paryapt or enough. And the second line, it begins with paryaptam, which means fully paryapt or enough. Tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam means we are protected by Bhishma. Bhishma abhirakshitam. We are currently being protected by Bhishma. But unfortunately, that bal is aparyaptam. And etesham, all these Pandavas, they are Bhima bhirakshitam. They are protected by Bhim. See, he didn't say here Arjun or Krishna, because he is actually afraid. And afraid of whom? Two personalities, Arjun and Bhim, which I told you before. Why Arjun and Bhim were mentioned? Because Vishwanath ji said he's afraid of these two warriors especially. Now, among these two warriors, he is very much afraid of this one personality called Bhima. From the very childhood, he is very much afraid of Bhima. So he says, although we are protected by Bhishma, but his bal, we are protected by the bal of Bhishma, but it is aparyapt. It is not enough. But see these Pandavas, they are protected by Bhishma, by the strength of Bhishma, by the bal of Bhishma, but that is paryapt. So now it is very different kind of logic use. Before this, he said that, oh, Bhishma has finer intelligence and he is good into all shastras and this and that. Okay, it will come here in this, I think, commentary only. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Sorry, I was telling the commentary before the explanation. So the verse is explained here very clearly. But why did Duryodhan say this? This will be explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What does he say here? Okay, so he says, aparyaptam aparipurnam. So what is the meaning of aparyaptam? Means aparipurnam. It is not enough. And what does he say this? Pandavahi saha yuddham akshamam iti. When he says aparyaptam means we cannot fight against Pandavas. This is the meaning of by saying aparyaptam. Although we are protected by Bhishma, we cannot fight. What does he say next? Bhishmena. What is the meaning of Bhishmena? Why did he use the word Bhishmena? Because every word has a significance, and that significance is given by the acharyas. So he says, Bhishmena ati shukshma buddhina shastra shastra pravina. That means Bhishma has ati sukshma, very finer intelligence, and is also shastra shastra pravinena. He is very expert in fighting tactics as well as in philosophical context as well. Then he says, Abhito Rakshitam Api. So we are protected by Bhishma. But still, why it is aparyaptam? Now he'll say the actual meaning, which is in his heart, which is actually presented by the acharyas. Now, if we don't go to the commentaries of acharyas, take blessings of Srila Prabhupada, we'll just read the verse and we'll be like blank. Why Duryodhan is saying aparyaptam when he has Bhishma on his side? So the reason is Bhishmasya ubhaya pakshapatitvat, because Bhishma is actually pakshapati. Although he is fighting from our side, but he is taking actually on the side of Pandavas. He knew this very well in his heart. Then why he's also confident also with the war? If he knew that we have Bhishma on our side, and even if he knew that Bhishma is actually by his heart having favorable understanding or favorable love towards Pandavas, then why he's confident with the war? Although he is fearful, he is confident with the war. Why? Now we'll understand also that. Etesham Pandavanam tu Bhimena Sthula Buddhina. Now he's comparing. So Bhishma is having Ati Sukshma Buddhi, and Bhim is having Sthula Buddhi, gross intelligence. And what does he have else? Shastra Shastrani Vignopi. When compared to Bhishma, he's not very well conversant with the Shastra and Shastras, that means philosophical truths of scriptures, and Dhanurvidya or the fighting tactics. He is not very well versed or conversant. He is comparing. But what else he is saying? Rakshitam Paryaptam Paripurnam. Although he is having gross intelligence, he is not conversant with the fighting tactics and scriptural injunctions knowledge, still it is paryapta, it is fine, it is paripurna. Why? Asmabhihi saha yuddhe pravinam iti arthaha. That means he is saying they are very well equipped to fight against us. So the only reason he is saying this will be coming in the next verses. Okay, we'll go next. So we have to go to the very depth of the verses. Why this particular word was used? Why this verse was said? Why these words were specially said here only? You will get only through the reading the commentaries. Someone says na, there are many people who say, oh हमें गुरु की जरूरत नहीं है, हम तो ऐसे ही सीधा भगवत गीता पढ़ सकते हैं. Baba, you may get some kind of literal meaning by your grammatical knowledge or expertise, but the bhavartha or the hidden or the rahasya, which is rahasya means which is confidential, which is not revealed. So this rahasya is something which is revealed, and it is revealed by someone else who actually placed that rahasya in this Bhagavad Gita. So we have to fold our hands, bow our heads, take surrender to the acharyas and say, please bless us. And then go ahead. Okay. So verse number 11. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha. Even you all can recite without opening your mic, because these are words spoken by the God. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha Bhishmam nevabhirakṣanto bhavanta sarva eva hi. So he's talking about why he said Bhishma eva abhirakṣanto. So he says here, Tasmad yushmabhihi. Wait a minute, let me open this in my laptop as well. Tasmad yushmabhihi savadhaner bhavittavyam itti aha. Ahvain ayaneshu itti. That means he's saying, therefore, everyone, yushmabhihi, all of you. See, he is not the Pradhan Senapati. He is not the even the king or the Yuvraj. But see this audacity, he is actually giving orders. To whom? Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya and everyone. Especially he is saying this to Dronacharya. Why? That we'll understand. So he is saying Tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. So while reading the commentaries or Sanskrit, we should try to register some words in our mind. Many times you will see a verse Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Manusmara Yudhyacha. So when Krishna is saying Tasma, therefore, that means something is already said before, and after that now a conclusion is being given. So when he is saying Bhishma Bhirakshatu, Bhima Bhirakshatu, Purnam, Paryaptam, that means he is saying Tasma, therefore, my dear, all the warriors, Yushmabhi, all of you who are assembled here, what you have to do? Savadhanere bhavittavyam. You have to be very savadhan. You have to be very careful. Otherwise, what will happen? Oh, definitely, Bhishma Dev will die. So he doesn't want Bhishma Dev to die like this. So he is saying, therefore, you should be very careful. And what else you have to do? Ayaneshu vyuha pravesha margeshu yatha. Where it went? Yatha bhagam. Okay, no. First we have to take one by word. Okay. Ayaneshu vyuha pravesha margeshu. So whatever vyuha I have arranged, there are many kinds of vyuha. Garuna vyuha, Shankha vyuha, Chakra vyuha, Padma vyuha. So you have many kinds of vyuhas. That means arrangement of the military soldiers. So whatever vyuha or the arrangement the enemy party has done by using spies or guptachars, They will try to find out what kind of arrangement they will make. So they will be very much ready to make sure they have a counter arrangement ready. Otherwise, that arrangement itself, because in a warfare, the arrangement of troops is very important. Even the Romans, Constantinople's, they were defeated by the Attila, the Huns, just because the Attilas were very much cunning. They knew the warfare. The Romans of the Constantinople, they were very much having gunpowder, guns, and everything. But Attilas, they were having only spears, arrows, hunters. But still, in lesser quantity, 20% lesser quantity, they were able to defeat them because they were attacking from mountains. Few of the soldiers, they drove their horses 20 kilometers 3 days before only, so that they can get behind the enemy and kill them. So this is warfare. Anyway, so he's saying vyuha pravesha margeshu means whoever is trying to reach Bhishma Dev. So there were many paths. Some paths were very difficult to reach the chief general, definitely, because he is the most protected unit. So all of you have to enter into those margas, means you have to enter pravesh in those vyuha. That is why he's saying ayaneshu. And what you have to do? Yatha bhagam. What does this means? Vibhaktaha swam ranbhumim aparityajyeva. That means if needed, do not give up your designated positions of the battlefields. Why he is saying this? Because he is afraid. If a person is afraid, na, he feels others are also afraid. कायर हम है, दुनिया को कायर ही समझते हैं. माय संस्कृत टीचर यूज्ड टू से, एक साहसी बहुतों को साहस दे सकता है और एक कायर बहुतों को कायरता प्रदान कर सकता है. हाउ ही गेव द एग्जांपल एज वेल. फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर इज rumor that lion has entered the area. Now someone who is sahasi, he'll say, अरे कोई डरने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, no need to fear my friends, there is only one tiger but we are 20. Even one or two will die, I will die first, but we will make sure the tiger will not hurt the others. So, with one courageous personality, others will also have some courage in their heart. And if there is one who is a coward, what he'll say, अरे ओ शेर आ गया, शेर आ गया, सब छुप जाओ, सब छुप जाओ. वो इतना डरा देगा दूसरों को कि उसमें अगर कोई साहसी भी होगा ना, बेचारे का साहस निकल नहीं पाएगा. So Duryodhan is afraid, so he is thinking if others are also might be afraid, so he is giving a tactic. Everyone should stay in this position, but please do not leave. That means भाग मत जाना भाई, डरना मत, भाग मत जाना. And what else he is saying? Swaswa ranabhumim aparityajyeva. Parityajyeva means do not leave. And he says, अवस्थिता भवन्तो भीष्मम् एव अभितस्तथा रक्षन्तु यथान्येर युध्यमानो यम पृष्ठतः कश्चिन न हन्यते. That means you have to place yourself in such a way that no one can come behind of Bhishma Dev and then kill him. So you have to protect him from all the sides. And why he is saying this point? I said this statement before. Even though he's saying that the bal of Bhishma Dev, who is protecting us, is aparyaptam, still why the audacity to go for a war? Duryodhan is not that stupid. So he's saying, Bhishma bale naivasmakam जीवितम इति भावः, कि ये भीष्म का ही बल है जिसकी वजह से हम जीवित रह सकते हैं भाइयों. इसलिए कृपया करके प्लीज भीष्म देव को मरने मत देना. So Bhishmadev was the only warrior from the Kaurava side who stood tall, like the longest standing chief general for 10 days. Otherwise, Dronacharya 3, and the other was like 2 days, 1 day, half day, and then gone. No more chief general. So Bhishma was the only one who was standing for 10 days strong as chief general. And from the Pandava side, Drishtadyumna, all 18 days, chief general, no change. But Drishtadyumna was killed by Ashwathama when Ashwathama went to kill the Pandavas at night. So in the serial, it is shown that Droni or Ashwathama, he killed few of the soldiers who were guarding, and then the 5 sons of Pandavas, thinking that they were the Pandavas, but no, Drishtadyumna killed all the remaining warriors of the Pandavas family. except the five Pandavas who were there with Krishna actually, because he knew he cannot kill Krishna. It is very difficult to kill God. Although he did not consider him God at that time, he considered him some trickster, mischievous trickster. Actually, Shakuni, he was most afraid from Krishna only because he was a trickster, Shakuni, and he knew there is only one person on the other side who is a better trickster than him, is Krishna. So Shakuni was always warning all the Kaura parties, Are Baba, the real enemy is Krishna. Why you are taking Pandavas are real enemy? Real enemy is that trickster holding that flute. So you have to, although he was not holding flute, but he said that वो जो यादव है ना वो हमारा सबसे बड़ा शत्रु है. But Kauravas were very much neutral because of Dronacharya and Bhishma. They were नहीं कृष्ण दुश्मन होगा ठीक है उनकी साइड में है और पांडवास दुश्मन है. Duryodhan also not considering Krishna that much great warrior because Krishna had a history of running away from Mathura to Dwarka. So, but no one remembers that he defeated Jarasandha so many times. But सबको यही याद है रणछोर name is more famous than Krishna defeating Jarasandha for 17-18 times. That we know very well. So Krishna has his own leelas. Even if he does something which is morally not good, it is glorified. Gopi Jana Vastrahari. We hear this in our the morning Mangal prayers in Vrindavan, Vibhavari Shesa. So stealing the clothes of very young gopis who are like 4 or 5 years of age, who are taking bath very early in the morning, Krishna is stealing their clothes. And it is being glorified. Oh, Gopi Jana Vastrahari, Jaya Jaya. What else? Ranachor. He is leaving the battlefield. Makhan Chor. Now imagine, except Sanatan Dharma, calling the most worshipable Lord as thief, है ना, as someone who is teasing other ladies, dancing with girls at night who belong to someone else. So it is not acceptable for those who are stuck in the boundaries of mundane morality. Please understand this point. In spirituality, there is no morality. It is transcendental morality. Whatever Krishna does is morality. Whatever he says not to do is immoral. This is the understanding of bhakti. Keeping Krishna at the center. Krishnanushilanam. This is the meaning of Shuddha Bhakti. Krishnanushilanam. That means we have to do anugaman. Shilanam. We have to either act accordingly or think accordingly to the will of Krishna or his devotees. So this is the understanding. So if Krishna says, tell lie to Yudhishthir Maharaj, hey, नहीं, और धर्म की हानि हो जाएगी. Oh, I am Dharmaraj. I am considered the righteous person. How can I say like? No, भगवत तो साक्षात नहीं, धर्मम तो साक्षात भगवत प्रणीता. Navai vidur nirvarapranat means these principles of religion are those which are dictated or set or enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharma is not given by vidus, or means those who are very intelligent, or na vidyadhara na charanadayas. This is the complete verse. So vidyadhar charanadayah manushyaha deva sura na manushya na sura deva. These people cannot give dharma. Bhagavad Pranita, whatever is enacted by the Lord is actually dharma. So he is very much afraid. Now we'll go to the next verse. So till 11th verse, whatever the fear of Duryodhan was properly mentioned here. Now we go to the verse number 12. Tasya samjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochaihi shankam dadmahu pratapavan. So he's saying, when Duryodhan was saying these words to Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama was right next to them. How we can conclude this? Because of this verse. He says, Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham. After hearing this, Kuru Vriddha Pitamaha Harsham. Kuru Vriddha, who is Pitama, who is Kuru Vriddha, means elder among the Kurus. What he did? Harsham. He was little bit happy. Why he was happy? कि कम से कम दुर्योधन को इतना तो बुद्धि है कि this war is only standing because of one personality on the side of Kurus, that is himself. Bhishma Pitama. And I told you in the last session as well that why the war happened or why Bhishma Dev was on the side of Kauravas. So the Kauravas had the strength to actually participate in the wars. Otherwise, the evil, they were very much afraid of Arjun. They were very much afraid of Bhim, especially. They were very much afraid of these two warriors. So they would never even participate in the wars. But when they saw that Bhishma Dev is on their side, they said, हाँ अब हम युद्ध करेंगे एकदम बढ़िया से. And that was the plan of Krishna. So this is mentioned in this verse, which I said in the last session. So he said, Simhanadham vinudyochaihi shankham dadmahu pratapavan. Very loudly he blew his conch shell. Why? He wanted to give some joy to Duryodhan also. So there is one word here, Simhanadam Vinadyochai. Uchai means very loud. So these words, Vinad and Nadam, these are actually from the same dhatu. So this is Sanskrit. Although I'm not also very good in Sanskrit, I know some workaround only. Still, we'll try to understand anyway, if we are able to. Wait a minute, something came up. So here the Vishwanath ji says, Tatascha Swasammana Shravana Janita Harshas Tasya Duryodhanasya Bhaya Vidvamshena. So Tasya means after hearing, Tatascha Swasamman, after hearing the Samman, Shravanam, Janita Harshas, after knowing the Samman done by, this is also not the kind of Samman which one expects. That he says कि ये सब मेरे लिए मर नहीं आए लेकिन इनकी वजह से ही हम बचे रहेंगे भाई, इनको बचा के रखना. ठीक है, कुछ तो इज्जत दिया. तो he said स्वसम्मान श्रवण जानिता हर्षस, उनको थोड़ा अच्छा लगा, he liked it. Now what tasya means? Duryodhanasya Bhaya Vidvamsena. When Bhishma Pitama smiled, दुर्योधन का थोड़ा सा भय चला गया. एंड वो भय जाने कैसे चला गया? क्योंकि समथिंग हैपेंड. व्हाट हैपेंड? हर्षम संजनयितुम कुरु वृद्धो भीष्मः. तो ये कुरु वृद्ध कौन है? भीष्म. इन्होंने क्या किया? सिम्मनाधम इति. बाय ब्लोइंग हिज conch shell, he removed the fear or he drove away the fear of Duryodhan. So from verse 3 to 11, he was very fearful. In verse number 12, his fear was mitigated by Bhishma Dev. But that fear will come again very soon. Anyway, so the phrase Simmanadam, it says, Upamani Karmani Cheti रणमूल सिंह इव. रणमूल, ये जो ण का जो मूल है ये समझ में नहीं आएगा. इव विनद्य इति अर्थ. That means Simhanadam Vinada. So what does this means? Roaring the roar of a lion. So this actually means roaring like a lion. So this Upamane Kramani, this is actually Karmani, it is actually one of the sutras of Panini Ashtadhyayi 3-4-45 as per the translation which I have. So we'll move to the next verse. How much time we have? Okay, one verse we'll do more. Okay, we'll go for one more verse. Tataha Shankhascha Bhairyascha. I am saying this again. Wherever you are, please recite this also. Tataha Shankhascha Bhairyascha Padavanaka Gomukhaha Sahasaivabhyahanyanta Sa Shabdastumalo Abhavat. So, when Bhishma Dev, who is the chief general of the Kaurav side, when he blew his conch shell, then various conches, kettle drums, small drums, larger drums were sounded. And it was like Tumulo Abhavat, very great sound because it was all blown together. The sound coming together, it was very tumultuous. What happened? Now there are some words which are mentioned here, but we'll try to understand the commentary first. Tatash Chobhaitraiva Yudhyotsaha Pravittityaha. That means both the sides they were very eager to now yuddhotsaha. They were very excited now to fight. Oh, Shankh baj gaya, ab ladenge. So you can imagine standing in a war field as a soldier and suddenly the conch shell blew and like, marunga, that way only. Ityaha tat iti. Now, what is the meaning of padava? Means mardalaha. And what is the meaning of anakaha? Means pantaha. And what is the meaning of gomukha? Means vadya visheshaha. So I'll try to draw this out so that you can understand what these words are. So now first thing is described here is various pen. Bhairya. So this is a very large drum with a club, है ना? और यहाँ पर इसकी अटैचमेंट्स होती हैं, पिन से इसकी चेंज होती हैं. And people, it is having some kind of strap which people wear it. It is a very big drum, and with the clubs you beat it. So this is bhairyash. What next word is there? Panava. So Panava. Padav means a small drum with same attachments and having a small club, just smaller in size. Smaller than bhairya. The other one is anaka. Among all the four words which are mentioned here, Gomukha, Anaka, Bhairya, and Panava, you must have heard this word, Anaka, because one of the names of the Lord is Anaka Dundavihi. Because when the Lord appeared, this Anak is called a kettle drum. Now it is like this. These are vertically carried by the body. You must have seen in the parades and all, I hope. So when you are carrying this vertically, very big drum, Bhairya, a small drum, that is Panava, and when you are carrying it horizontally, now you have attachments here, and then you have small sticks to beat it. बहुत पतला साउंड आता है, the Maharashtrians, they use this a lot during Ganpati Visarjan and other festivals like Shivaji Maharaj Janmotsav and all. So this is called kettle drum in English. And what is Gomukha? Now this is very interesting. Gomukha is like this. Sorry for my drawing, not so good. So Gomukha. Now why it is said Gomukha? Because it's not because it is made from the mouth of a cow. There was one great debate in the parliament about an aushadhi which is called Putra Jivika Vati. Now someone was saying in Ayurved, kind of a one person was saying ki if a woman is not able to have a male child, then by eating this vati one can get putra jivakaha. That means he will get putra. So this is actually very sexist medicine. So that was the first time I thought medicine is also sexist. So putra jivikaha means one who is not able, a lady who is not able to form eggs in her body, by that vati, the body will be strengthened enough to form eggs so that the child can develop. He took that into a different meaning. So there is also one medicine called Godanti Bhasma. What happened? Am I audible? Something happened?
Yes, Prabhu. Someone was unmuted, so I muted.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, so there is one medicine called Godanti Bhasma. So Godanti doesn't mean it is made from the teeth of a cow. Godanti, there is a rock which is of the same color and shape of the teeth of a cow. That is why it is called Godanti. And by making powder of that stone, a bhasma is formed that is called Godanti Bhasma. So Gomukh does not means mouth, cow's mouth. It makes the sound as the cow is mooing. Moo, like that. That is why it is called Gomukha. So these instruments are mentioned here. Anyway, so the Sanskrit names, other easy Sanskrit names are given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which is also very difficult to understand. So anyway, we'll end our presentation here. Thank you so much. Yaradras Khalitam Kinchit Vidwan Saha Puryantu Tat Yadadrashtaustvam kinchit tad gurureva me nahi. As I say all the time, which is very important. Easy Sanskrit names are given by. Whatever I have said, there will be many faults in that. So I request everyone who are Vidyut Janas here, or we are very expert in various fields, please help me correct those mistakes, and whatever good you have found in this lecture, it belongs to my Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus, and all the Vaishnavas who are merciful towards me. Thank you so much.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
so
Thank
from
you
the
very
next
much.
session, we'll be discussing the various kinds of conch shells that were grown by the Pandava side, their names, the significance of their names, and why Krishna is called Rishikesh in a special verse. So that we'll be discussing in later formats. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Over to
Krishna.
you.
Thank you much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful session. The way you you like let us know that how this guy Duryodhan is getting feared initially, then he's perplexed, and then he again feared. So all these things are like you means you are correct that we all saw in the TV serials also, but there is something else they are showing. They are the business purpose, and here you are showing like letting us know from the gurus and our senior lecturers. So it was very good, Prabhuji. That's thank you very much for the wonderful class. Can we have a like couple of questions, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. I've already pinned Mika.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, very much, Prabhu. So, Prabhujis and Madajis, if we have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for such a enlightening class, and I learned so much more than just watching the serial on YouTube about Mahabharata.
Yes.
So,
Same here.
Prabhuji, when you talked about in the beginning that the rule was broken on the very first day by Bhishma Pitama, so I wanted to ask, like after that, continuously rules were broken. So then why did the war was named like Dharma war? It was like something related to like religion. Or then how did that name come?
Very nice. This question will actually give you access to one of the great literatures we have, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, so I'm going to share my screen. We are going to see a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Mangala Charan, that is 1.1.2. Hmm. And also, I'll be showing you. Can you see this?
Yes, Ruchi.
So, the first three verses. Have you read Bhagavatam or tried the first few verses and you know? Okay. Amit Prabhu, आपने भागवतम पढ़ा?
Prabhu, long time back, like for a couple of less chapters initially, but yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Okay, that's okay. So the first verse is actually Sambandha Gyan, the second verse is Abhideya, and third is Prayojan. That means Sambandha Gyans means who is God, who am I, what is my relation to him. All these questions are answered here. Sambandha, relation. Then what do I have to do after knowing Sambandha is Abhideya. And what is the ultimate goal? It is mentioned in the third verse. So 1, 2, 3. Now we'll be skipping the first verse because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave 3 months lecture on this first verse itself. So this is how much important this verse is. So we'll go to the second verse. So when we say Srimad Bhagavatam, what does it has? What does it contain? So it says Dharmaha projita kaitavatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Dharmaha projita kaitav atra. That means whatever kaitav dharma we have are removed from this Bhagavatam projita. They are completely removed. Then what are the kaitav dharmas? So the acharyas they tell there are various kaitav dharmas, and among them, please note these are the kaitav dharmas: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are cheating religions. Kaitav means cheating. So here, dharma is considered a cheating religion. Now, this will break the hearts and minds of many. How come dharma is cheating? So, when here dharma is mentioned, So dharma means performing religious activities as per the Vedas. And then artha means by performing those religious activities, you will get some kind of benefit, some artha, some meaning. It can be in the form of some kind or some kind of money or gold, whatever it can be. And then kama, using that earth, you will fulfill your desires. And by doing so, there will be a time when you will be frustrated by those desires and ultimately you will move to moksha.
Moksha.
So our acharyas have said, Bhagavatam has said, this is completely a cheating religion system. Now I'll show you another verse, which we'll see in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Let's go to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2. So if I say, Mihika, when Arjun was saying, you must be having knowledge of Gita. So when Arjun was saying, oh, I cannot kill my cousins, brothers, and my teachers, my elders, it is better not to fight, go to jungle, and it is better they kill me before I kill them. Yes, they have done adharma, but by killing them, I am also doing adharma. So my dharma is to go to the jungle and do this. So when you hear these kinds of things, it is actually dharma. It is actually religion. But this is not as per the will of the Lord. So such kind of dharma is actually cheating. Now in this modern world, or any, not just modern world, because this Gita, it happened in, not in the modern world which we are here. So in the current times also, you hear a lot of such kinds of statements. अच्छा करो, बढ़िया करो, झूठ मत बोलो, डोनेशन दो, ये करो, वो करो, बहुत कुछ करो. But Krishna is missing from this. So it is a cheating religion. Now I'll show you this. When Arjun was saying these kinds of things, what did the Lord say? Very important verse. Ashocyan avashochyastvam pragnavadamsha bhasache. You, whatever words you are speaking, pragnavadamsh. Pragna means it is like looking like a very highly intelligent person speaking. But gatasuna gatasumcha nan shochita pandita. You are not even a pandit, you are fool number one. So when Arjun is speaking dharma, Krishna is calling him fool number one. So such kind of dharma, which is against the will of the Lord, against the desires of the Lord, against bhakti, it is actually a cheating religion. Because by doing such kind of dharma, you are fulfilling your desires. Now, if such dharma is wrong, then Bhagavatam must be telling some better dharma also. So we'll go to that verse. 1, 2. So because we have mundane dharma, mundane artha, mundane kama, mundane moksha, so we must be having transcendental dharma, transcendental kama, transcendental artha, and transcendental moksha also. Definitely. So that is mentioned in Bhagavatam. So what is that para dharma or transcendental dharma, which is not cheating religion? It is savai pumsam paro dharmo, you see, paro dharma, transcendental religion. Yato bhaktir adhokshache, that dharma is actually, hey, all the pumsams or the mankind, please hear. That paradharma is bhakti towards adhokshaja. That means Krishna. And what kind of bhakti? Ahaituki. It should not have any kind of motivation. That means selfishness, because it is prema. Ahaituki. And then the next word is what else? Apratihata. Pratihata means disturbed. Apratihata means undisturbed, uninterrupted, unmotivated by selfish goals, and apratihata, uninterrupted. And by doing this, someone will ask now, okay, I'll do paro dharma, normal dharma is cheating. Then what will I get? Yayatma suprasidati. You will actually gain peaceful. You'll be actually happy, completely satisfied. So this is paradharma. Okay. So this is the real religion which we have to follow. Then because we don't have time, then you have transcendental dharmasya pavargasya na artho upakaya kalrate, transcendental earth also. Then kamasya nendriya prithir, you have this transcendental calm also. And then transcendental moksha is knowing that the original tattva or the original param tattva is in the form of Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan is the ultimate shelter. So this is the real moksha. So I'm sorry that I opened Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very high PhD subject, but I gave you a small glimpse that this kind of dharma which was being laid down in Bhagavad Gita is actually prema, not this cheating religion. Bhagavad Gita teaches bhakti. It does not teach morality. You will see in YouTube so many videos. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, ye lesson, wo business, dhum dhalaka. So let's be very honest. To the outside world, for preaching some adjustments they make in philosophy, that is fine, but that actually delays their uh, coming into Krishna consciousness. So better say the truth. Let Krishna handle the outcome. Why you are worried that if I'll say this, that will happen? Be very intelligent. Prabhupada said, make sure the philosophy is palatable. But it does not mean do not add any kind of salt or masala. Palatable means it should be tasty. That means it is up to the preacher to present it very nicely. So if I told you this kind of statements, are you disturbed or are you happy that you got to know the real dharma, Mika?
Happy.
Happy na? That is okay. So it is up to the preacher to make it palatable. Now if I say Mika, पूरे जीवन में तुमने जो भी धर्म सीखा है सब बर्बाद है, जीवन खराब है तुम्हारा. No, this is not the way to explain. ठीक है? So when we say this battlefield was for upholding dharma, and Bhagavad Gita is the main substance of dharma. What is that dharma? That is paradharma. So this is called purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is called purushartha, means these are the works that one purush has to do, meaningful activities. But these all four are considered cheating, kaitava. So then they have to move to the fifth purushartha, which is hidden. And what is that? Pancham purushartha, that is prema. And it is revealed by Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this Bhagavatam, it is our treasure for Gaudiyas. Bhagavad Gita, it is our treasure. So anyway, this was supposed to be subject matter while teaching verse 211. But because you asked a very nice question, I could not wait to answer this. So I explained that substance here only. If you have any further questions, please ask.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, for verse 13, I just had a clarifying question. So then in verse 12, Bhishma Dev, he blew the conch shell, which was like the roaring of a lion. But then in verse 13, it was the Pandavas' army who did, right? With the four types of instruments and all.
Hmm.
So
Yep,
then
it
why
is the
in
Pandavas.
the verse?
Actually,
Yes.
if you see the commentary, I said both the parties were now excited. That means this drums, conch shells, bugles, everything was being blown or beaten up from both the sides. Now the details will be starting from verse number 14.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much. Hare
Both
Krishna.
sides, both sides. Thank you for asking such a wonderful question.
Thank you, Mika.
It takes a lot of intelligence to ask this question, actually.
She is going in the
Hmm.
right direction then.
Yeah. Your blessings.
Anyone else has any question? Prabhuji, Mataji's. I think probably everybody understood the class today, and no, there is no further questions. So can we wrap up the call?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful session. Srila Prabhupada की जय, His Grace शांत गोपीनाथ प्रभु जी की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भैर्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय।
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.